Hi, I'm Steph from Steph Time, and I wanted to show you guys all of the clothes that I made in 2021. If there's anything in particular you're interested in seeing, I have everything kind of chaptered below, so just skip around and see what you would like to see. All right, first I have this little removable collar that I made out of some vintage fabric. I roughly based this off of the Antoinette blouse pattern by Isa and Stitches. It's pretty easy to make. I didn't find that I wore it a lot. They're very cute, but I could not tell you how to style them. So this one lived on my mannequin for most of this year. Next we have the Rose Cafe Bustier by Daria Pattern Making. This has a lace up back because it's just how I decided to do it. This is super cute. I made it from some vintage fabric that I got from my grandma. The fabric was printed in Hawaii and it's got a really nice texture. I love this top. I love that it makes me look like I have boobs, and I think it's really flattering on me. This is a Nava Rose corset. It is a pattern drafted by Nava Rose here on YouTube, and she has a tutorial and a free download. It only comes in one size, which worked for me, but just a disclaimer. I used some beautiful fabric I found at the thrift store. It's giving me like Monet water lily vibes, some impressionism. Very happy that I made this. All right, I've got this tank top that is a self-drafted tank top. It's reversible and it's got ties at the side. I love how this turned out. It turned out exactly how I envisioned it. It's made with kind of a low stretch, thicker knit fabric, and it just looks really pretty. It's really easy to layer, and it's nice that it's reversible because I can go with a cream or I can go with a light pink if I so desire. So yeah, I was really pleased with this, and this is a pattern I'm hoping to get released to you guys, hopefully in the spring. All right, up next I have the Lola tank by Stay Stitch Pattern Co. This has a really unique neckline. It's kind of like a racer front neckline. It's got these really deep in cuts, but it's really flattering. The only hard part is like trying to figure out what kind of bra to wear with it. I actually tested this pattern for them, and this was my tester version, and I think it turned out great. This was made from bamboo knit jersey from Blackbird Fabrics, and I really like how it turned out. It's super cozy, super soft. I love this addition to my wardrobe, and I wear it quite often. Next, I have two versions of the Joan tank pattern by Cool Stitches. I also tested this pattern for Cool Stitches, and this was my tester version. She's got like a strappy tank and a regular tank, and I love this style on myself. I wear it all the time. I love how this cut looks on me. This is the tank version. I made mine in rib knit, which if you do that, I would size down because this one is just a little bit big for me. Otherwise, I love the look and feel and cut of this, and I think it's a really great pattern. This was also a self-drafted tank top. This one was a bit of a learning experience. Binding off the neckline of rib knit I find really difficult, and I think that's mostly due to the fact that I just haven't done it quite enough. So I ended up with some waviness around the edges, but when I put it on and it stretches out, it's not super noticeable. It's pretty basic, but I like it. I wanted to show you guys because I made it. You see it? You see it? It's a pretty simple t-shirt. This is a self-drafted t-shirt that I made, and there's not really much to say about this other than I like it. It's a basic. I love the tiny rainbow stripes. It's giving me like retro vibes, and I'm glad I made it. This is what it looks like. What do you think? All right, let's talk about the Elliot top by Cool Stitches. I love this pattern. It's really easy to make. I like it because you can make it out of just a non-stretch woven, which is really nice if you have like a quilter's cotton you've been wanting to use for something but don't know what to use it for. This has really beautiful gathers that happen at the waist and under the bust, and as you can see, I've made two of them. I made this one in a video. I will link it above here if you want to check it out. And this one I just elongated the sleeves and omitted the elastics, and I wear these all the time. I like to layer them, like to wear them on their own. I am so glad I made these, and I love this pattern. Aha, but wait, there's more. I also made this, and also made a YouTube about doing the Elliot top button front hack, and I made this top out of the exact same pattern, just doing a couple of adjustments to the pattern. So definitely check out that video if you're interested in doing that. And I love this pattern. All right, up next I have the Agnes pajamas by Paper Theory Patterns. And I made it from this striped linen that I had from Joann's. It's been in my stash forever. I feel like it was really popular on Instagram a couple years ago, and then like everybody was using it for everything, and then I didn't know what to make mine with, and then I stumbled across this pattern and knew that I just wanted to make myself something really luxurious and nice to wear around the house. Love this set. Would definitely recommend this pattern. I finished these with French seams throughout, so it's just like I took my time with this pattern, and it's definitely worth it. I think it'll last through the long haul. All right, this is the Antoinette shirt by Isa and Stitches. I loved making this shirt. If you remember me talking about this collar, it's because I did a modified version of the collar from this shirt pattern. I made this one out of vintage fabric I found on Etsy, and I did double buttons on the front instead of a single button, and I think it added a really nice detail. I have a hard time styling this in my wardrobe just because it's such a feminine and dainty print. However, I do love layering it for the collar under things, and the poofy sleeves look really cute. If you guys have any recommendations for how to style any of this stuff, let me know. All right, I made 3 Gilbert tops. This pattern is by Helen's Closet. I made 3 because I really wanted to nail the fit, and I wanted to try for the first time to do a small bust adjustment on a shirt. So this was my first attempt, and I love the color and the button choice on this one. Everything turned out really crisp and nice. However, I did the small bust adjustment and I did not adjust the sleeves at all. So the sleeves are, whenever I raise my arms, the whole shirt raises up. But either way, it's really cute. I can tie it up or wear it over something and it works just fine. This was my second attempt, and this is when I kind of modified the sleeves again. I used a bed sheet for this, and per a friend's recommendation, I used the binding of the sheet as the contrasting collar, and I think it turned out really cute. Fits nice. This cotton's really soft. And then for my Gilbert top in its final form, I did this double gauze that I got off of Etsy in this beautiful color. The only thing I would change, and I've thought about even doing it to this shirt because I want to be able to wear it all the time, I should have made the actual sleeve itself wider. It's a little bit small. So I would probably take the sleeves off, add a little bit of fabric right under the arm, and then ease the sleeves back on. But other than that, this was a great practice in just like fittings and really toiling something out to see what works for me. And I'm happy to have all 3 in my wardrobe. So this is like my favorite thing ever. This is my Scrappy Eva top. This pattern is by Cool Stitches. It has these pattern pieces already blocked out like this, but I chose to kind of use up my fabric stash and do color blocking for the whole thing, even the back. And what I did for this, that pattern specifically suggests that you have like 60% stretch, which some of this did, like this top one definitely did, but these are more like jersey knits for t-shirts, and they definitely did not. I ended up having to add like panels of fabric all the way down the arm and the side of the shirt, really just to give me that extra width. But I love this one because it was so fun to make. It's definitely my color palette, and yeah, it's one of my favorite things that I grabbed for. But I made this pattern many other times, and let me show you what I did. So I took out the different pattern pieces. I just overlapped the seam allowance on the pattern pieces, taped them together, and then just had a normal mock neck pattern. But I did the same thing on this when I added a color blocked side panel to give my shirt some extra stretch because this fabric was also not stretchy enough. All right, so these two get pretty good amount of wear, but nothing compared to these two I'm about to show you, which are also just a modified version of that Eva top. These two are just regular mock neck shirts made from, or mock neck turtlenecks made from that Eva top pattern. I get so much wear out of these. This was just some rib knit I got from a big warehouse, and I actually had made a Monroe turtleneck from this rib knit before I knew how to work with rib knit, and it was huge. And because I was using an existing pattern, I actually had to kind of do a seam on the back here. It really doesn't bother me. It definitely looks kind of crazy when it's on the hanger, but when it's on me, I rarely notice. And as you can see, both of these kind of have loosey-goosey unfinished edges because I got so addicted to wearing them before I finished them. And it's been like that for like a year because I made them last year. So every time I wear them, I'm like, you know, I should probably finish these, but then I'm like, I'm already wearing it. So this one definitely gets the most wear. It is this beautiful buttery bamboo rib knit from Blackbird. I would live in this thing if I could, but they both get tons of wear in my wardrobe, and they're great basics to have. I love layering them under stuff. I love these. Up next is the Olya shirt, and I have a video on how I made this as well. I'll link it up above. This was a really fun practice in interesting details and putting a little bit more love into a garment. This has really nice structural and design details that sometimes you just don't find in other pieces. And I love wearing this like as an overshirt or just as a regular shirt tucked in. Love having this in my wardrobe, and this was a thrifted linen curtain that I upcycled. So this sweater. This is a sweater that I designed. It is just a raglan vintage inspired fit raglan sweatshirt. It is actually the sweatshirt I'm wearing right now under my overalls. And this was the first toile I made of it, and it turned out great. And then I did a live stream where I made this one, which was really fun. And if you want to watch that, I'll link it up above as well. I'm actually working on this pattern right now to release to you guys, so I'm super excited about that. Keep your eyes peeled. And these are really fun to make and super easy. They're super quick, super easy, and really easy to style and wear. This is out of some like thrifted, I think it's definitely a poly blend. And this was out of some French terry from Icy Fabrics. Very cozy, very warm. This is from Blackbird Fabrics. It's their tinsel and organic cotton French terry, and it is so soft. This is another thing that I just like haven't been able to take off since I made it. It's amazing. And I have one more version of this sweater in this beautiful dark mossy green. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to put a waistband on it or not, so I don't know yet. And it's one of my first pieces that I put my little new tags in, which is fun. Here, check it out. So cute. Okay, beautiful coat that I made from a thrifted blanket. I made this using the Paola workwear jacket pattern, which is free. And I've yet to put buttons or pockets on it because I'm still kind of giving it a good old trial run. I just still don't know. I think I wanted to actually fully line it, so I was waiting to do that before I decided to put on pockets. But I think it turned out really great. I actually was really proud of all of the pattern matching that I did, and yeah, I was really pleased with how it turned out, and it actually came together pretty quickly. So definitely recommend this pattern, not to mention it's free and unisex. So all right, this is the Cop It Like It's Hot tank pattern by Brenda Lamb. I test knit this for her. I ended up using 2 skeins of thrifted yarn, which is why I've got this color blocking here. This is a very cute fit and pattern, but I live in Georgia, so wearing a wool, a little bit scratchy yarn knit tank in the summer is just like, if you're looking for a quick knit, especially with bulky, chunky yarn, this is a really fun one and knit up really quickly. This is the Swift Tank by Cool Stitches. I knit this in, I think this is wool and acrylic, and this one took a little bit longer just because it was a little bit smaller yarn, but this style and the yarn I chose to use with it is definitely suitable for me in the summer. I definitely wore this quite a few times this past summer and really enjoyed it. So would make again, would wear again, do recommend. 10 out of 10. This is the Holiday Slipover by Petite Knit. I actually did a combination of 3 different yarns held together while knitting this. It was one that I got from a thrifted sweater, I completely unraveled it. There are lots of other slipovers and by other pattern makers, maybe are more inclusive size-wise. Like just, I learned a lot knitting this. So definitely, if you're thinking about knitting something and it seems really intimidating, go for it. I think it's a great neutral basic that I will definitely keep in my wardrobe. This was definitely my most fun knit of the year. This was a patchwork pullover sweater. It was inspired by a pattern by aka Shayna on Instagram. I actually started knitting her pattern, which consisted of multiple knit blocks all seamed together, and they were all different because I was still learning about tension and gauge and all that stuff. So when it came time to seam them all together, it was just really lumpy because they were all really different. And then I had learned so many new techniques and things along the way that I frogged everything and started over. And all in all, this was all knit up with some Woolies Thick and Quick, which is really nice because it's really accessible to many people, and they have a really good color range. And this was Hue and Me by Lion Brand Yarn. So yeah, I love this one. All right, up next is the Social Bubble Jumper by Brenda Lamb. This was also another test knit I did for her. She recommended super chunky, bulky yarn, and I use just bulky. So it's a little bit more holey than intended, but I learned some really cool techniques while knitting this. As you can see here, I did the bubble knit on the sleeves, and I just did some cool texture that she included on the pattern throughout the sweater. And this one's a great sweater to wear as a statement piece when it's not so cold, actually, because it's not super warm. You get some good airflow in there, but I love knitting this. I always love test knitting or testing a sewing pattern for someone because I just always learn a lot, and it challenges me to push myself to try new things. And this was all knit up also using the Woolies Thick and Quick as well. After I started the patchwork sweater, this was actually the second thing I knit up. And this is the Cozy Mock Neck Sweater by Well Loved Knits on Instagram. She also has a YouTube, and I will put everybody's information in the description box below, so if you're wondering, just look there. This thing is so heavy. I arm knit a blanket out of this yarn, and then I was like, well, why would I go and buy yarn when I have some here? And it was actually 2-ply, so I had to unravel all of the yarn. It's like 6 skeins, huge, super bulky skeins that I unwound into single ply, so basically roving yarn, and knit up, and it is dense. And the weight, I can only describe it as a weighted blanket or the blanket they put on you when you're getting x-rays at the dentist. That's what it feels like to wear this. Very soft and cozy. Transitioning out of knitting into bottom half of body clothing are these shorts. These are the Soline shorts by Stay Stitch Pattern Co. I also tested this pattern, and it was super easy and fun to make. This is just a thrifted piece of fabric I got at the thrift store. My favorite feature of these shorts are these boxed pockets. These are super cute to just throw on in the summer. Little elasticated waist with little tie. Happy to have them in my life. Does this fabric look familiar? Oh, it's because it's the exact same fabric I used for the Soline shorts. But these are the Persephone pants, and this is my second pair of Persephone pants, and these are great for summer because this cotton twill is extremely breezy and super cozy to wear. A fun and interesting thing about these pants is whenever I buy thrifted fabric, if I can utilize the edge that already is finished, I will. And this one actually had a really cool detail at the bottom. As you can see here, it's like almost like an invisible stitch, but not invisible. And I just use that as my hem. So that's a little hack there if you're ever using thrifted materials. I've got these pants that are my self-drafted trousers. I love these pants. I have these double welt pockets on each side. So they're super flattering, great pocket size. And this is made from thrifted curtains from IKEA. I love these I will definitely be making more pairs of these for myself. We've got these bisque trousers, which I also have a video on how I made them. Put it here. These are an elasticated waist trouser pant. I definitely made them in a couple sizes too big. But with that being said, while some of the very awesome details get kind of missed, they're super comfortable. Like, they're made out of this thrifted flannel. This is another piece of clothing that when I made it and put it on, I didn't take it off for days. Seriously, super awesome. And the pattern comes with like 2 different leg shapes, and this is the tapered. All right, these are the Tatjana trousers, and this is by Just Patterns. And I also have a video of me making them. I'll put over there. These are really fun to make. I learned so much making these. I learned how to make a welt pocket and how to mess one up. Luckily, you can't really tell. I love to wear these, but they are a bit tight in the waist, and I should have done a thicker piece of interfacing at the waistband so they wouldn't, like, you know, crinkle because they're a little bit too tight. But either way, would recommend this pattern if you're looking for a pair of trousers. I didn't make these pants are thrifted, but I did block print these pants, so I kind of counted them, and I wanted to show you guys because I'm gonna have a video coming out soon of how I did this. But if you're itching to learn how to block print in the meantime, I block printed a jumpsuit a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, and I'll put that here if you're just wanting to get into it. But I have the video of me block printing these coming out in a couple months, so definitely stay tuned for that. Y'all need a pair of pizzazz pants. Moving on to dresses. Here's a dress I made that I hate, and I wanted to include it because you guys need to know I don't love every single thing that I make. This was an upcycle of a jumpsuit that I thrifted, and I wanted to see if I had enough fabric to do a gathered tiered skirt. I didn't, and the fit's just totally off. It's just super duper off. I feel like this would be good for like a child. I don't know. It's really short and it fits funny, but it was a great lesson. And I also got to like detach and reattach an invisible zipper and did a good job. So lessons learned, so not a waste of time at all, but I wanted to share this with you guys. This is a dress that I finished in 2021. I started it in 2020, took it to Yosemite, hated the way it fit, and I finally got around to fixing it up in 2021. It's really hard to see what it looks like on the hanger, but as you can see here, it's got a crossbody back and lots of gathered tiers in the skirts. This was a thrifted bed sheet. I learned a lot by self-drafting this, and yeah, I really like it. Here we've got the Helena wrap dress by Just Patterns. This is another one that was very thoughtfully made, lots of unique and beautiful design choices. Learned a lot while making it. This is a thrifted bedsheet as well, and yeah, I think it just turned out really lovely and springy and beautiful and joyful. So yeah, this is the Gerda dress by Schultz Apparel. As you can see, it's quite long. I tested this for Schultz Apparel before she released this pattern, and so the top half I love, and the bottom half I definitely ran out of time and just wanted to do a gathered skirt. She includes a different way to gather the skirt, as well as a like 3-tiered skirt, which would have been a much better option for me, because at this length, which is not the pattern when I wear it, I feel like a mom who is homeschooling and from like the 90s. I actually really love this fabric. It was also secondhand. Her design features are really very cute and vintage inspired, and I love this top half, but I gotta do something about the bottom. So I might just crop it to be a top or change the skirt entirely. Like I said, not everything you make is going to be perfect and suit your style perfectly. All right, you may be thinking, why do you have a shirt? We already went through the shirts. Well, I have a shirt right now because it was the toile to the item I'm going to show you next. This is the Milkmaid pattern by Lydia Naomi. And this is just a crop version without the ruffle, just the top. I made this so I could figure out how I wanted to construct the dress version. It will definitely get a lot of wear out of it in the summertime. This was made from abstract print fabric from Blackbird Fabrics. And now that you've had a little bit of a taste for the final piece that I made in 2021. Ta-da! It is the Milkmaid dress by Lydia and Naomi. This is fully lined, it's got boning. I was just really proud of how this turned out. This is a animal print crinkle cotton from Blackbird Fabrics, and I made this to wear to a wedding, and I partied hard in it and really enjoyed it. I mean, did I pop an elastic at the reception and have to sew it back while I was on my way to the bar after the wedding? Yes, I did, but it's okay. It is just so flattering and pretty. I actually have lent it to a friend to wear to a wedding. I was just really proud of it. The inside's really pretty, and I was just really excited with how it turned out. Whew, I think I'm more exhausted going through everything I made in 2021 than I was making it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing everything I made in 2021. I would love to hear about what you made. What were some of your favorite makes that you made in 2021? And what are you looking forward to making in 2022? I would love to know, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and like this video. Both of those things actually really do help me out. So I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.